You got me. It's Kim Commando today, and I'm here with you just the facts and tips you need to thrive in our digital world. Or, as I like to say, to live the best digital life ever. I mean, what an idiot. The guy does it on purpose. He crashes this plane with him flying just to get views on YouTube. I mean, really? And subs? The guy's name is Trevor Jacob, and on a recent vid, he flies this plane. He gets to about, a couple of thousand feet. He gets out of the plane, and then he hangs on while the plane crashes in a national park. He has about 2 million views on it. The FAA says, hey, you can't do this. We're going to take away your pilot's license. It's a violation of aviation regulations. All this to just get more clicks on a stupid YouTube channel. And let me tell you, I took a look at the video, and I was waiting for him to say, as he was crashing, watch closely. I'm only going to do this once in my life. Yes, and you see, ladies and gentlemen, just an example of all the fun that we have here week after week as we talk about living the best digital life ever. It's America's largest show about all things digital, your most trusted source, of course. It's called The Kim Commando Show, and I just happen to be America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Commando, here with you once again. And you can find us on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app, and you can find us streaming whenever you want, as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7, commercial-free, by the way, over at this special address. That's getkim.com. And once again, that's getkim.com. And you can also hear us on the American Forces Network Radio. I love this, truly. Serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries. And yes, 200 ships at sea get the Kim Commando Show. Hello to everyone there on the American Forces Network Radio. And of course, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open. And I'm sure you have at least, a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And that's 1-888-825-5254. All right, let's get started with 5 things that you need to know about tech, that it's happening right now. And in case you missed it, I don't know how you would have, is that Netflix hit a milestone it never had before. And it's not the good kind. For the first time, the once king of the streamers, the Netflix of Netflixes, yes, they had a major drop in subscribers. In an earnings call, they said about 200,000 people canceled their accounts. And then, as a result, Netflix stock, it dropped at one point about 37%. That's a big deal. Now, I've been saying for a long time, we just have too many streaming options. There's just too many different shows. It's like fragmenting the marketplace. And then, of course, we have gas prices, inflation. People are going to need to make some tough choices. And so now we have Netflix in full crisis mode. So they're saying all right, you're no longer going to allow anybody else to share your password. And they can totally do this by tracking your IP address if you're the paying subscriber. And get this, out of 10 years of owning the streaming marketplace, guess what they're going to be doing now? Yes, they're going to have a cheaper option, somewhere around, they say, maybe $5 or $6 a month. And when you're watching shows, you're going to start seeing commercials. Wait, what was that? Didn't we cut the cable and go streaming so we wouldn't have commercials? Well, now you're going to get commercials at Netflix with this cheaper option. Here's a little fun fact for you that you can use this weekend. What was the very first television commercial? The very first one. I actually looked this up myself. It happened on July 1st, 1941. It was during a game between the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies. And the ad was for Bulova watches. This company's still around today. The ad was only 10 seconds, and it told people what time it was. How cool is that? History repeating itself, and now we're getting into cable cutting. This is going to be like the second phase. All right, number 2. Now tweet this. Okay, so everybody's talking about Netflix, and everybody's talking about Elon Musk and Twitter. And what if you put them together? Well, then you get Elon Musk tweeting that the woke mind virus is what's making Netflix unwatchable. So you might say, what does he mean by woke? Well, you might remember Bubba Wallace. He claimed in June 2020 at the height of the Black Lives Matter protests that, he found a noose hanging from his garage and the FBI got involved. And then they found out that, it was actually a garage door pull and it had been there for years. But Netflix made a film about it anyway. And then there was also the Netflix film called Cuties, about an 11-year-old girl. She discovers that she's getting older, she's maturing, she finds herself. And then, of course, the Parents Television Council says, what is going on? Netflix is sexualizing children. And so now we go back to Elon Musk because he's still trying to buy Twitter. That's right. He put together, I don't know, what was it, $43 billion. No, I'm sorry, $46 billion. Got together with some of his friends and got some of his investments together. I don't know about you, but if I sold everything, I don't even think I'd be anywhere near like $1 billion. So he's put together all this money. And then they're doing the poison pill, and then they find out the shareholders, they get paid $3 million a year. They don't own any Twitter stocks, so they don't have any skin in the game. So it's hard to say what's going to happen. But I'm going to make a prediction. I think Elon Musk is really going to pull this off. All right, number 3. This is something that I thought we would never even see. A doctor that makes orbital house calls? What was that? Yes. So, of course, the pandemic, everybody found out Zoom and Google Meet and Teams and things like that. And then, of course, we all started embracing telemedicine. Well, now telemedicine has gone to an astronomical level. That's right. Get this. NASA has started teleporting doctors to the International Space Station using hologram technology. It's all part of their 3D telemedicine system, but it's the first time that it actually has been used between Earth and space. Little fun fact, another one for you today. Now, it's the first visit involved a flight surgeon using the Microsoft HoloLens Kinect camera, a computer with special software, of course, custom software. And then they were able to have this two-way video conversation, but with a real kind of person standing there, a hologram, with the astronauts on board. So they say the main purpose is that we want to be able to see if we can do this, and we want to make sure that the astronauts in space feel closer to their families and all that other good stuff. And it's also going to have a big role as we go to Mars. And so NASA is projecting really great results. Thank you. Number 4, Mission Spam Impossible. What is that? You may have noticed that there's an increasing number of the spam text messages you've been getting lately. I know I have. I don't know where they're all coming from. Well, of course, Robocaller, it's been an app for a really long time, and they have put out a new stat that the average American received roughly 42 spam text messages just during the month of March alone. And so they come in all different flavors and sizes. I mean, maybe it's like a girl saying, "Oh, God, you're the love of my life. Where have you been? And I've been waiting for you." Or maybe it's a guy. Or as they're saying, "We're trying to deliver a package. Click this link to confirm. Your fill-in-the-blank account has been suspended. Click here to reactivate." Or how about this one? "You just won a brand new iPad. Lucky you. Yes, click here to claim." So here's the deal, is that last month we also had Verizon customers getting text messages from their own number. Other carriers are getting hit with that as well. And so just because they're being sent as group messages, here's the problem: they can't be blocked at the carrier level. So if you see something like that, mute the thread, tell your family members and friends, okay, you did not win a free iPad. Sorry about that. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. And just don't click any links. Now, you can also report this offending message by forwarding the message to 7726. 7726. That, of course, spells spam. Now, over at commando.com, the carriers have all these various packages and links and programs to help you out. Like, for example, AT&T has Call Protect, T-Mobile has Spam Shield. So if you're not using these on your phone, you head over to the website and you should, start doing some research and installing them yourself. All right, number 5. Oh, my gosh. You're not going to believe this story. This is one of these things that you're going to listen to and you're going to tell your family members and friends. I heard this on the Kim Commando Show, and it's bizarre. Okay. It's a really crappy situation. Let me just put it that way. And it happened to a California woman who was visiting in Washington the Olympic National Forest. So there she is, hiking, having a great old time with her dog. And then she, figured out she had to use the facilities, so she stopped at a vault toilet. Now, if you don't know what a vault toilet is, it's a flushless toilet. You just go, and all the waste is stored in an underground container. So she's there doing her business, and wouldn't you know it, she dropped her phone. That's right. That was the first mistake. And then she decided, wow, I need to get my phone out of this vault toilet. So how can I do this? So she's very innovative, and she takes her dog's leash, and she takes the leash and she kind of figures out she's going to have like a harness. And she's going to lower herself into the vault toilet to get the phone. Well, you can tell by the way I'm talking about it, it didn't quite handle her weight, and she fell headfirst into the toilet. She tried to climb out for about 20 minutes before going back to plan A, which was, hey, I came down here for my phone. So somehow, in the middle of all that, she finds her phone and she calls 911. The firefighters arrive, put together this makeshift cribbing platform so she could climb into. She was pulled to safety. They got her out of that toilet rather, and then they hosed her all down. And they gave her this special disinfectant suit to wear. How gross is that? They talked about it on their Facebook feed, by the way. The woman was not identified, and when she got cleaned up, she said, you know what, I'm totally done hiking in Washington. I'm going back home to California. And the firefighters reported that she just looked, she was embarrassed, and she was a little flushed. Okay, I don't know about you, but I would have left the phone and been like, okay, this is just the cost of doing business. Okay, time to move on. All right, coming up in this hour, oh my gosh, you're not going to want to miss this, really. In our DIY security, we have a list of secret hidden cameras that you're not going to believe. I mean, I'm talking about things like, I don't want to give it all away, but like a Roku player that could be recording you. And it just looks like an ordinary Roku player. Or, of course, the outlets. Anyway, you don't want to miss that. That's coming up. And then in just a few moments, the secret to posting the very best Instagram photos. And, of course, you have more of me here on The Kim Komando Show. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, if you love the show, you're going to love our newsletters. Head over to komando.com/subscribe and pick the newsletters that you want and tell us your preferences so we only deliver the content that you need to see. And I consider our breaking security alerts and our tips of the day essential reading, as is the current. So head over to komando.com/subscribe to sign up right now. All right, how about we start this hour with Mark in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi there, Mark.
Hello, Kim. I cannot believe I am talking with you after years of just eavesdropping on your conversation.
Well, thank you. So now you've finally come to the front of the line. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, my gosh.
So what's going on?
Bottom line, I need an app that will prevent phone calls from coming into a cell phone, prevent phone calls from going out of a cell phone unless they are all in the contact list, and then a passcode in front to block anybody from adding.
Sounds like there's a backstory to this. What's going on?
93-year-old relative,
okay,
and he has made some new friends, and we call them the scammers.
Oh.
He's in them to them for thousands of dollars.
Oh.
I mean, many thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
And worse than that is even this week, he drove 3 hours to meet them. And
You're kidding.
So it's a safety issue. No. And he's done this before. So it's a safety issue. And we've done it, just so your listeners know, we're smart people. We've put alerts on things. We've blocked accounts. We've had the sheriff, the FBI, the bank president all talk to him. But he said he's going to be the one that catches them. He knows he's being scammed, and he's going to catch them.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, there are bigger organizations than him, but that's okay. So let's what kind of phone does he have?
He has a Samsung Android. It's a J3 Aura.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do is we're going to put a parental control package on his phone. Okay, and that will give you the ability to monitor the inbound and outbound calls. You can block calls. You can only allow calls from certain people. So his new friends, because he's going to be a vigilante, they won't be able to even contact him because it's not going to be on the list. So the calls are just going to be blocked. Okay, and then you can, it's a third-party package, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's like $50 a year, but it sounds like it's definitely well worth it.
That would pay for itself.
Yes, I was going to say tens of thousands. What does he say? Like when the FBI or the sheriffs talk to him, what does he say?
He says he knows.
Okay.
He knows he's being scammed, but he's doing this to reel them in, and so he is just sucking them in and playing them so that he can catch them.
You know what? I have to tell you, Mark, I get people who tell me like they do this with telemarketers. Like, oh, I have this telemarketer. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I really want to buy what you want to buy. Can you hang on the line? But what they don't realize is that the scammers are recording their voice, and then they can use that voice for deep fake audio recordings that they can use to scam somebody else. It's like, okay, please, face palm here. Anyway, it's called Custodio, and it's spelled with a Q, Qustodio, Custodio. And you know what? Try it, and then let me know. I'd really love to know back if it works, and if there are ways that he found around it. I don't think he will, but I'll put a link to it in the Q&A forum as well. Mark, thank you so much for your call. Coming up, we have some tips about Instagram and also those security cameras. You're not going to believe these security cameras coming up here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, before we go back to your phone calls and our amazing security tip this week that's about all these security cameras that are hidden. Oh, you're not going to believe it. One is even a hair tie. Okay, but I'll tell you more about that. I'm going to be talking a little bit right now about the ways that you're ruining your phone's battery. I mean, did you know that every single time that your phone's lithium-ion battery cycles, it only has a certain number? And if you charge the phone's battery the wrong way, you actually are doing a lot of damage. You're shortening the battery's lifespan. So you want to do it the right way. Okay, for starters, don't let your phone's battery drain all the way down to zero. This actually diminishes the capacity of the battery. Then, of course, you don't want to charge it to 100% either. Or the worst thing is keeping your phone constantly charging, stay plugged in overnight. Because without getting into all the science, it just wears down the chemistry in the battery. It actually causes the battery to gradually lose its capacity with each and every charging cycle. Plus, it's probably not necessary to charge your battery for that long anyway. So what should you do? Here's the magical number. Keep your phone's battery for between, say, like 40 and 80%. And that range is really ideal. So it's between 40 and 80%. All right, back to the phones we go with Jared in Woodland Hills, California. Hello there, Jared.
Hello, Kim. Nice to speak with you.
Well, thanks.
Used to follow you in the 90s and lost you, and then I've been like, is Kim still on? And one of my buddies was listing stations where I could pick you up, but the times weren't right. So hopefully I can fix that one of these days.
Well, of course. And don't forget, you can always catch us as a podcast over at getkim.com.
Yeah, and I'm on the daily. Now I'm on the daily.
Good. You're
one you've been putting out, the 40-minute one?
Yeah, we just started that. That's Kim Komando Today, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday.
that one?
Yes. And then
I'm on, they were telling me about your digital minute, so I subscribed to that, and so...
Well, good.
I'm sort of picking you up again.
Yes, I'm happy to have you back, Jared, and how can I help you?
Well, one of my buddies some time ago asked me a question about something called the Who's Who directory. And I've actually been seeing several emails from various domains as I tweeted you within the last week or so.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I'm sort of curious on the take of what is this, and my research isn't really conclusive.
Well, here's my opinion, Jared. Like 30 years ago or so, maybe even longer than that, I think it used to be legit that you'd have like this who's directory, like who's for like sales and marketing and physicians and, for just about any profession out there, teachers, attorneys, you name it. And then, of course, now it has graduated to like, I'm sure you've seen like the list for like best super lawyers, best doctors, and there's actually a company that does that. But back to the who's who, and it was a legit, but as time came on, I always have this saying, Jared, that if you don't innovate, you evaporate, right? I mean, you cannot always do business the same way. So who's who, I don't know if it was like maybe whoever was running it, they died, or somebody who took it over, but it kind of went by the wayside. And now it doesn't really mean anything because they have all these different competitors. And so, like, for example, like I was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. I probably got no less, I'm not kidding you, about 15 to 20 different offers that said, hey, Kim, you've been inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. Would you like to tell us your story? And then we'll give you a plaque and we'll charge you $900 for that so you can display it. I'm like, I already got the award,
Yeah, my research indicates that and on top of that, I was giving you some of these domains.
Oh no!
which
Don't
actually
give the
redirect.
don't give the domains out on the air. Don't do that because nobody
No,
can
no, no,
follow
no.
you.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Nope. That wasn't.
Okay.
That wasn't what I was going to do. Trust me. I've been in this field since 2006 in the security field.
Excellent. Okay, good.
I actually was involved in a blindness-related ordeal where a version of a program that doesn't exist anymore actually made the blind computer user's computer not boot. And so,
oh my gosh, that's horrible.
That's what got me started in it, and I've been reading ever since. I don't have a degree or anything in this field. It's just reading and understanding and forming my own opinions based on what I'm reading.
Well, you know what, Jared,
So
that's always
how I got into this.
well, that's always a good way, and to look at multiple sources because things aren't always what they seem depending upon where you go on the internet, right? I mean, but back to your question about who's who is that I think if in today's times is that I think it's more important for you to have a really important LinkedIn profile, okay? Because that's where people
and I have one,
which is awesome, and that's free. You want to set up maybe an online portfolio. You want to do an online resume. You want to boost your recommendations over at LinkedIn and give some recommendations. But, falling for these rackets that say, we're going to put you in some directory and we're going to make sure that everybody knows that you're fabulous and you're above the fray and all that other good stuff is that, it's not worth the money that it's not printed on, so to speak. So, hey, Jared, really appreciate you joining us, coming back. And I remember now tweeting with you this past week, and thanks for your call. And if you ever have any other questions, if I can help you out, I'm always here for you. And again, thank you. It's time now for our DIY security tip, and this week is brought to you by Total AV. And by now you can't trust everything in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. I mean, you know that. Checkpoint Research recently discovered 6 antivirus apps spreading malware that takes over your phone and totally steals your banking details. So instead of skimming reviews and hoping for the best, check out my trusted pick for complete device protection. That's Total AV. It's received the renowned VB100 award for detecting more than 99%. That's right, 99% of malware samples for the last 3 years in a row. And not only do you get great protection from the latest threats, but Total AV's AI-driven Web Shield browser extension blocks dangerous websites automatically. Plus, you can cover up to 5 devices under a single plan. So whether you're on Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android devices, just install the easy-to-use app and you're totally protected. Speaking of, head to protectwithkim.com today, and you're going to get an exclusive introductory rate of only $19 for the first year. That's over 85% off the regular annual price. Just head to protectwithkim.com today, protectwithkim.com today. All right, we put together this list of shocking hidden spy cams that could be secretly recording everything that you do. And when I tell you that it's shocking, it really is. And just as a disclaimer, we're not telling you that you should go out and buy these and start using these. I want you to be aware that they really exist. Like, for example, let's say you see a woman like me just wearing a hair tie, put her hair up in a ponytail. Did you know, that scrunchie could be covertly recording up to 250 hours of audio. I can lay dormant up to 25 days. And it has a date and timestamp, so you know when each audio file was recorded. What about a hidden camera that streams everything in a water bottle? That's right. 1080p HD quality, can record on a PC or an SD card, just streams right it. A tiny camera that goes on your shirt. It's a pinhole camera that records up to 22 hours of 1080p HD video. A wall outlet that doubles as a hidden camera. So you just look at it and you're like, oh, maybe I should plug something in, which, by the way, it works. And then when you plug it in, it's a hidden camera. Okay, so what about if you're looking in a room and the person has a humidifier? You're like, oh, okay, well, maybe he or she's having trouble breathing, whatever it may be. Well, that hidden humidifier, or that humidifier rather, could be having a hidden camera. There's also a water bottle that looks like a hidden camera, that has a hidden camera in there. There's a light that has a hidden camera in it. What about a TV remote? Yes, TV remote. We have 4 or 5 on the table. One could be a hidden camera. Then there's also a car charger Plugs right into the old cigarette lighters. That's also a hidden camera. And then what about food? So you're sitting there and somebody has a can of spaghetti out and you're like, hey, what are we having for dinner? We're going to have the raviolis or the spaghetti. And you're like, hey, let me take a closer look. And you do, and it has a hidden camera. So we have pictures of all these cameras. And we have links where you can learn more about it, just in case you're curious. And to find it, head over to komando.com. That's KOMANDO.com. And when you're there, just hit the link at the top that says Kim Show. All right, still to come this hour, we have some great tips about Instagram. And then later on, signs that your email has been hacked. I mean, you might be wondering, is anybody in your email? Well, I have that answer still to come here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, so you're on Instagram. Now, there's a secret to posting the best Instagram photos. I'm going to tell you about that before we go back to your phone calls. And Instagram is huge. And by the way, the typical user spends about an hour a day on Instagram. Now, most social media apps, they reduce the file sizes of your photos and videos to make uploading faster. Now, the problem is that compressing photos and videos, there's a lot of downsides to that. Like, for example, the colors aren't as vibrant. The details may not be so readily visible. Now, a simple Instagram hack cuts down on the compression so that this way your photos pop. So from your Instagram profile, select account and then data usage. Over there, you're going to see this toggle switch. And so what you want to do is turn on high quality uploads. And here's a tip. If the option is blue, it's totally turned on. So now the photos are going to look great, but there's always a gotcha in life. Yeah, you want to keep an eye on your cell phone's data usage plan so you don't go over. And speaking of Instagram, hey, why don't you go ahead and follow me on Instagram? Head over to Instagram.com/KimKomando. Once again, that's Instagram.com/KimKomando. And speaking of social media, you can also find me on, let's take some guesses, right? Twitter.com/KimKomando, Facebook.com/KimKomando, and even LinkedIn.com/KimKomando. And let's see, back to the phones we go with Ron in Salinas, California. Beautiful Salinas. Hello there, Ron.
Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How can I help you out today, sir?
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Whatever's bothering you, I'm your friend. I'm right here to help you. Take a deep breath. Okay.
My wife and I had separate cell phones. I always liked the flip phone. She had the smartphone. She passed away 4 years ago of cancer. So now I carry a smartphone. And what I want to do is, it's an iPhone 7. It needs to be updated. But when somebody calls the phone, like the family or friends, if I don't answer the phone, it has her voice about leave a message. And I want that.
You want to save that?
I want to save that.
Forever.
And put it on the new phone.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You know what, Ron? You're very brave. I'm glad you called. And I'm going to help you out, okay? So that this way we never lose that very, very important hold that you have in your memory and your wife's voice, because, at the end of the day, what do we have? We talk about all this technology, but what do we have, Ron? Right? We all we have are our memories and our families, and that's what matters most. And that's one of the greatest uses of technology, is that it allows us to have these memories, right? It allows us to keep these and to refer back to them, and to always keep that person in your heart and close to you, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a way that you can do it, but I'm going to tell you how you can do it, but then I'm going to tell you something else, okay? So first, let's talk about how you can do it. Is that when you go on your iPhone, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a link that says greeting. So if you hit greeting, that's where you can select voicemail, and then you can say play it. Okay, and then you can use another phone on your PC to record it, or you can record it, and it's really easy to do that. But here's another way you can do it, okay? is that, and I'm going to do this for you because I don't want you to take a risk of losing it. Okay. When do you need to trade in this phone?
I haven't decided yet because I didn't know whether one of the things that's important to me is having a quality camera because I used to not only carry my phone, a flip phone, but a separate camera. And now do I buy the 13 that's out or do I wait for a 14?
Well,
but in the meantime, my daughter gave me her 10.
Okay, all right. The whole thing is like the 14 will be out in the fall. That's what always happens, okay? And it's going to have bigger, and it always has better cameras. That's always the bottom line there. So if you need my advice is always if you need a camera now, you buy a camera, or you buy a phone. If you don't need a new phone, then you wait until the fall, which is about 6 months, 5 months away. Okay, so now about this special voicemail greeting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get your phone number, and then we are going to call your phone with the voicemail on it from your wife, okay?
Okay.
Then we are going to record it in our super duper studios. And then we're going to send you the MP3 file.
Cool.
Okay, so that this way there's no risk of anything happening bad and there's no risk of anybody messing it up. But if you want to record it, we have the steps over on the website. I don't know if those steps are exactly there, but you can go to greeting and play, and then you can record on another device. But let's make sure, Amber, that we get Ron's phone number, and then we're going to record that for you, Ron, and we'll send it off to you. So this way you always have that very important memory of your wife. All right, there are some clear-cut signs that a hacker or snoop may be looking at your email and that you've been hacked. And the obvious is that you have email in your sent and draft folder that you're like, whoa, dude, I don't even recognize that. Now, when your email gets hijacked by a hacker or malware, it's often used for phishing campaigns, so you might want to look there. Number 2, you keep getting these email password reset notifications, and you're like, I didn't ask for any of these. The hackers are trying to change your password. Another clue is you have email that shows up, and it designates that you read it, but you didn't do it. What happens is that hackers and snoops will just start rummaging through your email carelessly, and then they start leaving these notes marked unread. And number 4, you want to look in the trash folder. If you see an important email trashed that you didn't throw away, your account may have been hacked. And then finally, this is really important. Most email services let you see your login activities. So what you want to do is tap into that section and look for any type of suspicious activities. Hey, you want to stay right where you are. We have another jam-packed, fun-filled hour of the Kim Komando Show you never, ever want to miss here on the Westar Multimedia Network. One more thing, make sure that you sign up for our free tech newsletters delivered right to your inbox. Head over to komando.com/subscribe now while you're thinking about it. Once again, that's komando.com/subscribe. And thanks for listening. I appreciate you.
Asante came to TurboTax after graduating from culinary school and landing a job in the hottest kitchen in town.
My hands are full all day, every day. I love it.
Asante, as your TurboTax expert, I'll make your moves count, guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and your maximum refund. Sound good?
Yes, expert!
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.